Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Real Talk Bougie. Guys, we're going to get into the disappearance of Ashley Elkins. Ashley has been missing for several days. Her estranged ex-boyfriend is now in custody. So let's get into it so you can hear a little bit about it. The family has been talking to the media and sharing what they know to try to help in hopefully finding Ashley as soon as possible, but they are fearing that the worst has happened to her. So let's get into it. Definitely want to provide some awareness. This is a mother who is now missing from her children. I did see something where a family member stated that basically she is a stylist, a hairstylist, and she works from home. And this guy basically booked an appointment and went to her house where she's taking clients and realized that he blocked her time and it was him. And I guess they have, they were not seeing each other anymore. And the mom said 2 days later she's missing. So okay, let's get into it. Okay.
We begin tonight with the investigation into a mother from Macomb County who has been missing now for a week. Her ex-boyfriend appearing in court today. Welcome to 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a story that we've been following since Monday. Well, today her ex-boyfriend, Deandre Booker, was charged with lying to a peace officer. Earlier this week, police raided his Roseville apartment in connection to the disappearance of Ashley Elkins.
And in court, we learned more about Booker's past, including his career with the military. Elkins' family now telling us they believe she is dead.
7 News Detroit's Randy Wimbley has an update on the investigation. He's hearing from a retired violent crimes investigator who's walking us through the complexities of a case when the victim hasn't been found.
Roseville PD met with law enforcement partners from Macomb County Sheriff's Office, the Warren Police Department, and Michigan State Police as they chart out the next steps in this investigation.
We want to bring closure for that family. My heart breaks for them, but we're confident we're going to get there, and we're not going to stop till we do get there.
Roseville Police Chief Mitch Berlin says they're awaiting DNA analysis for some elements in their investigation that will bolster the probe into the disappearance of Ashley Elkins.
This violent act was premeditated. We will seek to enhance the charges once we get there. Do exactly that, premeditated.
The Warren mother of two went missing last week. Her car was discovered in Roseville. That's where police searched the home of Deandre Booker, her ex-boyfriend and main suspect in her vanishing. Investigators believe she was murdered.
Deandre Booker.
Booker faced a judge on Thursday, accused of repeatedly lying and willfully providing false and misleading information to police at the onset of the investigation. Walk us through the rationale of why they would get a charge like lying to a peace officer.
They want to keep him in custody, so they can't, the individual they have in custody can't destroy any evidence. Or maybe in this case, move the body.
Retired Detroit Assistant Police Chief Steve Dolan spent his career involved in some of Michigan's most violent crimes.
But still, he's a flight risk because we haven't found the body, and they felt there's enough there to get a search warrant for his house, and that's why they're looking for him in the first place.
Chief Berlin says they plan to expand the search of an undisclosed location that they're hoping will secure additional evidence so they can throw the book at Booker, if that's where the evidence leads them.
Once we
Okay, well, let's pivot to the arraignment.
Calling case number 25329 FY People versus Deandre Booker.
Your Honor, Randall Kane appearing as arraignment attorney on behalf of Deandre Booker. Mr. Booker, state your name for the court, please.
Deandre Booker. And thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Steve Dox on behalf of the people.
All right, and Detective Lesbratz, can you please go to the table next to Mr. Kane? Mr. Booker, did you talk to Mr. Kane today?
Yes.
Did he go over your rights with you?
Yes.
Did you understand all of those rights?
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding your rights?
No.
All right, I'm going to enter not guilty plea for purposes of arraignment. With regard to bond, we'll start with Mr. Kane.
Your Honor, Mr. Booker is 32 years old. He's in custody on this charge. He states he is not employed. He lives at the same address. Also states he's not on probation or parole. I'd recommend a reasonable bond in this matter.
All right, then Mr. Fox.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Obviously, we're here on the 4-year felony for lying to a peace officer on a violent crime investigation. This is, of course, as Your Honor is aware, involving Ms. Elkins. And the court is to consider MCR 6.106 and MCL 765.6, a number of factors. I'm going to hit on a few if you don't mind. The first is the protection of the public. The underlying matter, although not the charge specifically, but the underlying matter obviously involves a crime of violence, potentially. We are still seeking Ms. Elkins. The defendant, we suspect and believe, may know where she is. And a concern is her safety if, God forbid, the worst has not happened yet. So with respect to that, Judge, I believe that there is a risk to the public, specifically if she were still alive, and that's what we're all hoping for, of course. The other is the defendant's risk of non-appearance and the likelihood of conviction. Likelihood of conviction, Judge, the defendant made several material factual misstatements to Detective Lasperance and recited those to the court during the course of the initial swear-to. The defendant was aware that we were investigating a missing persons report. He was aware that there was some belief of his involvement. He made misstatements about both his location as well as Ms. Elkins and how she may have left his vehicle, left his apartment complex, all of which we can demonstrate by objective evidence and video evidence to be false. So there's a high likelihood of conviction in these cases, on these matters. And then last and most importantly for the court's consideration, I think at this point, is the probability or improbability of returning for trial. We have a history that the charges, at least, we do not have the disposition, but we did recover a PE 214 from his time in the U.S. Army. It looks like in 2016, he was charged with a couple of matters, including larceny of private property, and more importantly, fraudulent ID documents. And then in 2017, he was charged with desertion or the absence without leave, going AWOL from the Army. Ultimately, he was discharged less than honorably, although it was not a dishonorable discharge. He was discharged from the Army in a less than honorable means or manner. We know that after the conversations, before the conversations with Detective Lasperance, but we believe after the underlying events of this case, he fled from Macomb County, went to Flint, where he was apprehended and brought back to Roseville. And we know that during that time, while he was in Flint, he accessed the internet to search for such things as fastest routes from Flint to Ohio, what to do on the run, is blood traceable, how to beat a polygraph, and deleting Google history. So Judge, I think by his own words and his search history, by his prior conduct, and by what is frankly at stake in this particular matter, he's a significant risk of flight. With that, I would request a significant bond. I'm asking for a $500,000 cash surety bond, no 10%, and then a steel cuff GPS tether be attached should he make that bond.
All right, Mr. King, anything further from you?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Detective Lasperance, is there anything you wish to add?
No, ma'am, not this time.
Mr. Fox indicated there are many things the court has to look to with regard to setting bond and determining bond. This court looks most closely at the risk of harm to the public and the likelihood of the defendant's appearance in court. I will note for the record that this matter is currently charged as a 4-year offense. I will also note for the matter that while Mr. Fox did point out several instances from the defendant's time in the military with regard to any sort of matters that come up with regard to larceny or desertion, but there is no other criminal history presented. But that being said, the matter being investigated does involve a missing person, which is a very serious matter. And the court takes very seriously that the allegations being made are that the defendant is lying to a police officer regarding material facts about a missing person at this time. That gives the court great concern about the risk of harm to the public and the likelihood that the defendant will make sure that he appears in court for both this matter and any potential further charges that may be brought by the prosecution. At this time, the court is going to assess an amount of bond in the amount of $250,000 cash surety, steel cuff tether prior to any release. The PCC date in this matter will be January 22nd, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. on Zoom in front of Judge Bodecker. The exam date will be January 29th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. in person in front of Judge Bodecker. I have referred the matter to the Office of the Public Defender for appointment of counsel at this time. If the defendant does retain counsel, that counsel can send in a substitution of attorney. Is there anything?
Thank you, Judge. I apologize, Judge. Just one clear, you indicate steel cuff tether. That is with G, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further from the people, Judge.
Anything
Nothing
further,
further.
Mr. King? Okay, you guys are all set today. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Mr. Colbert, I'm going to give Ernest.
So they did actually end up giving him a bond, but it sounds like $250,000 surety. I'm gonna have to look it up and see what I can find regarding his bond, but it's quite possible he doesn't have the funds to be able to secure that, whether it's cash, $250,000, or even if it is, so the state asked for no 10% cash only, but I don't know that that's what the judge gave. So let's keep going. This guy is, it's a mess.
Calling case number 25329 FY, People versus Deandre Booker.
Okay.
Your Honor, Randy Kenny appearing as arraignment attorney on behalf of Deandre Booker. Mr. Booker, state your name for the court, please.
Deandre Booker.
So this is the same arraignment. It's just a bit of a different vantage point, but you can see the family is there. You can see a little bit more of the view of the family. It's more inside outside. It's like a combination of a little bit of virtual hearing versus in person. But I guess the main thing here is that you can see the family, and there's a lot of support for the family missing Ashley Elkins. It's very unfortunate, but Deandre Booker is being held, and I'm sure they would have liked to have no bond. But we all know a high bond is just as good as no bond. But let's hear a little bit more from the family. They did an interview, and let's check this out.
Give us just a reaction of what you saw in court today. I know I can't even imagine.
I just really had no bond. I think it's still he got the bond. I just didn't want to have a bond at all, you know. I just want him not to be able to get out at all. I just want to go straight to prison and just never get out ever again.
I know that they asked for $500,000 and the judge lowered it. How do you feel about that?
I didn't like that. She should have did 500,000, but I can set 250,000. But you know, which could have been higher or no bond at all.
You all had your suspicions about him. Kind of, does this confirm what you were suspecting?
Yes. Yes, I knew it from day one.
Can you tell us about that? Is there a moment that you kind of knew?
When I got to her house, it was 8:40. She left at 8:30. I went in the house for a minute, came back out. I texted her I had a dream of her car being stolen. And she replied back, "Oh man," which is weird to me. So I FaceTime her. She didn't answer. So I said to her, you know, just be mindful about your surroundings and, you know, pay attention where you're going. And she didn't call back. That's not like her. And she never called back. And she never texts back. Never.
Do you think that all man that wasn't like her, do you think that was her answering?
No, that was him. I believe he had her when she walked out that front door.
Does he have any violence or history of violence or anything? You know?
I never knew he was violent, but now that I find out things, I know he was stalking and some things happened, but I found out later from friends of hers that, yeah.
So you think he was kind of controlling, possessive?
That I know he was, because he would go through her phone and she was doing hair at home. And he had a problem with men coming in and get their dreads and stuff done. And so she had got a booth somewhere on 8 Mile. So that she wouldn't have any problems with him. Then when they broke up, then she just went back and started going from her house.
When did they break up?
I want to say September.
And how long were they dating?
A year.
Can you describe their relationship? Have you been around them when they were?
Yeah, he was around my whole family. When I say I thought he was the one who was going to marry her. He was good to her kids. He played ball with them. He took me to their haircuts. Ash's father was murdered also April 8th of last year. He was there for that. He went to, I worked for Stellantis, and we had a Christmas extravaganza last Christmas. He was there.
Formal.
The formal. He was there. He was always in my house. I cooked. He was part of the family. So I'm just really shook that he would do something like this.
Did it give you any hope to hear the prosecutor say that they are still hoping that she's alive?
No.
Yeah, I think we heard from the chief and the police, and based upon the evidence, there's reason to believe that she is not. We know the prosecutor is legalese, right, until the body is found in a courtroom. They're still making those assumptions. But last night, the family was very clear that based on the evidence that and what was shared with us by the police, that she's deceased at this time.
And I know that, have you informed her kids at all of that update? I know you were just talking about how they're asking for them now.
So yesterday I went and got them. I talked to this 10-year-old. He just screamed and hollered and asked why I was supposed to do something like that to his mother because she's so kind. And how she takes care of them. Who's going to take care of them now? And he's supposed to be a chef. And he was supposed to buy her house. And so he was supposed to cook for her. And they had plans. And now it's like he said he's not going to do anything now. He don't want to do anything anymore. And he's asking me questions like, is he going to his dad's or he's got to stay there now? And I don't know. I can't break down. I've been strong this whole time, looking every day from day one. And it's like I can't really lose it because now I got to take care of my grandsons. And so I decided to always just keep being strong. But I get tired and overwhelmed. And I just want to thank everybody who helped me. I'm glad I went on live on Facebook. I'm glad that people share. I'm glad for social media who sent me information about all sorts of things, his family and people he knew and addresses. I thank the media for when you all came out, that y'all were on the ball. Y'all called me all the time from day one trying to get it on air. And, we don't speak on why y'all didn't get it. I'm not going to go there. But once it got on, even they would call me and would tell me updates so that I wouldn't see it on social media. Trying to just protect me and protect my family. So I really appreciate that.
Do you have any feelings to just how full that courtroom was? Some reporters couldn't even get in. It was so full with support.
Yeah. I was on social media. I felt like I was alone and I didn't have anybody. And everybody showed me I did. That there are still villages out here. And yeah, I'm going to be okay with time. The boys will be okay with time, but it's just heartbreaking. She didn't deserve this. She was really a sweet, even when she was born, she was a child who never cried. And growing up, she didn't do too much. She was real quiet and happy. She was the person that everybody went to, her friends, for advice. And yeah, this is just hard.
She was missing. She's still missing. You still don't know. What would help you right now? What would help you in any way right now?
Just prayers. Just everybody pray that we find her. Just pray. I've looked, so I'm sure that they probably know where she is. They probably still look for her. That's what I feel. They just gotta find her.
Even if you know in your heart that she's possibly deceased.
I know she is. I knew it because they took too long. So
you still want to just have your baby home.
Yeah. Yeah. So at least been laid to rest. She's my oldest, and I always told them, my kids, to stay close. Because if something happens to me, then she was supposed to take care of them. And I don't know.
Have they described as being cooperative or as being combative, or have the police told you at all? As far as when they arrested? Oh, no, we don't have any information as it relates to that.
Did you ever reach out to the family at any point when you guys were talking, trying to figure out where she was?
No.
What would you say to him?
But we accepted him. We accepted you in our family. her grandmother you met, her aunt you met, all her father's side of the family. You were good to those boys. You know, you didn't think that how it would affect those boys, the ones you got their haircut, the ones you kept sometimes when she had to run errands, the ones you played ball with, the ones you took to the park. You didn't care about them. It's just sad that he didn't think about them. I don't know.
Was that an immediate red flag to you that he didn't call when this all started?
No, it was a immediate red flag when she said, "Oh man, I knew it in my spirit something was wrong," and I knew that he had been there 2 days prior, acting like he was a client. He went on her website and booked an appointment to get his hair done, and then he came to her house. He knocked on the front door and the side door, and they didn't let him in. So here he is, 2-3 days later. Boom, she's gone. That's sickening.
Can you describe any other stalking type incidents where he was doing that?
I don't know. A friend of hers said that she felt like someone was always following her in her car. Something about another time he tried to make an appointment, but she found it was him, and she called him, and he confessed that it was him, and he just wanted to see her, that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Why did she decide to end it with him, or was it?
When we find out he had like 6 and 7 different pages, like on Facebook, he would have the same people on his page, like respond or you know, so whatever he posted, which is strange. The same 6 people are not going to always say something. You know, you're going to have different people, different days say things. And that's when we started realizing that something wasn't right with him.
Do you think those were fake or?
Oh, they definitely were. He was good with computers and doing things on them and making fake pages, making fake documents. We just really didn't know who he was. We thought we knew him, but we really didn't.
Did you know about going AWOL in the military or the other fraud?
We found out that he was in the Army. He did tell her that, and I asked her, did she ever see him with, you know, a picture with her? She said she saw, but didn't know about AWOL. A cousin had said they didn't know. So he was in the Army, and all of a sudden he was home.
What do you all think of when the prosecutor was going over the misstatements he made to police and then his internet search history?
We were aware of some of those statements. If anything, it shows how calculating he was, that this was premeditated, and it shows the monster that he is. I mean, we're still waiting on more information as it relates to that. I'm sure the police knows more than we do. But to hear that, you know, it says a lot about him and the monster that he is.
So you think he planned it out all ahead of time?
Absolutely. Definitely.
Not just he didn't just plan it, but he planned to get off, and he's hoping allegedly to pass a polygraph.
Yeah.
Right. That says a lot, right? You're researching how to pass a polygraph. You know, you show up 2 days before and prior. This was no doubt premeditated. I was a prosecutor. I did homicide cases. I mean, this is as premeditated as you can get, right? He planned it every step of the way. It's just, you can't fathom why or why would someone would do this. You're talking about a mother, a 30-year-old mother, 2 children, you know, and she didn't deserve this at all. But everything you heard in that courtroom, just from those messages alone, I think it says a lot about what he did and how this unfolded.
That's good.
Anything else anyone wants to add?
You know, again, we want to thank the media. Definitely want to continue to thank the community for their support. Outpouring, I mean, to see all that love and support in the courtroom, it does mean a lot. And ultimately, you know, we want Ashley home. And when I say that, I mean we want her body found. And we know the police are working on that. They're working diligently on that. And we want to move forward. You know, we want justice in this. And you know, I said this last night. It seems that this case is resonating with a lot of people, probably for a lot of different reasons. We should not have to see our Black and brown women murdered. We should not have to deal with boyfriends or husbands attacking their significant others. These are not things that should be happening. This is not normal. right? And we shouldn't accept this as normal, whether we're police, whether we're everyday people, whether we're prosecutors, whether we're, family members. This is not normal, and this should not have to happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your background? You're a former prosecutor. You said, where were you a prosecutor in
Wayne County.
Wayne County?
Yeah.
How many years?
That was, now I'm giving away my age. 98 through 2004, I was with the Mike Duggan administration at that time. I was a chief in the office, a deputy chief. Worked in the homicide unit. So.
You're a civil attorney now?
I do some of everything. Right.
Did you ever think you'd be on this side of that attorney-client?
I was speaking with someone before. No, I mean, once again, I think society grows numb to these things, and you see it on television, you see it in the movies, and you think, wow, that's so sad for them. To be on this side, it's devastating. It gives you another understanding. It's like, that's why I said this is not normal. It shouldn't be accepted as another occurrence, another, unfortunate female who, went missing and at the hands of their ex or their husband or boyfriend. It just should not be accepted as normal. But it gives you a different understanding being on this side, no doubt.
And he is my daughter's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my mother. That was her first granddaughter.
Yeah.
You watched her grow up.
Oh, yeah. We all had a hand in raising her.
And then you embraced this gentleman into your family. How does that make you feel?
I only saw him a few times, but that was her friend, and he came to my house all dressed up for a formal affair, and the stance that he had, and I just saw some class in him, but we didn't know who he was. We didn't know.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Guys so much.
Thank you.
And right now we begin.
Yo, this is horrible. Okay, so this is him right here, Deandre Booker. You heard the grandmother say it. She said, well, I only saw him a few times. So, but according to the mother, they welcomed him into the family. He attended family occasions. He was in the midst. He was there, and they welcomed him, and they really thought he might be the one. And it turns out that their worst nightmare. So this is Ashley. According to the mother, the family spokesperson, her uncle, I would assume, so that's her sister's husband, the gentleman who was speaking, the Wayne County prosecutor, former Wayne County prosecutor, basically stated that what was shared, they are not optimistic that Ashley is still alive. But, there are still miracles and things can happen and you never know. But what they know and how they feel, and her mom having a dream and all of everything that has occurred, we wish them the best. And she did ask for prayer. So, again, this is Ashley Elkins, and this gentleman right here, Deandre Booker, is sitting in jail, and I'm sure they are talking to him and hoping that he will give up information so that they can bring Ashley home. Period. Whatever the situation is. So let me know down below, had you heard of this story? Have you been following it? This is another situation happening in Michigan, but it's been pretty much all over the place. So if you hadn't heard of it, let me know down below. But this is a guy that Ashley was dating. They broke up. She'd been taking precautions to try to, smooth things out, keep her distance, but he'd been stalking her. And according to the information that the police are providing, basically her phone pinged her at an apartment that was leased by him. That was her last known location. And she was broken up with him. She had nothing to do with him. And that was the last known location. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think down below. We'll definitely be following up on this as more information comes through. Of course, if you're watching this and you know anything about it, the Roseville Police Department has asked for any information to be sent to them regarding this case. And I also thought it was interesting. The mom mentioned that social media was really helping her, that she thought she was all alone. She says that her Facebook community has came through and sending supports, words of encouragement. The courtroom was full of what I thought initially was family and friends, but also maybe well wishers and people showing support from her online community. So anyway, guys, you guys take care. Comment down below. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys next time I post a video, go live, or put up another post. You guys take care.